What's up, football fans? Today we're diving into one of the juiciest quarterback rumors of the offseason. One that has veteran Aaron Rodgers trying to make one last supercharged splash with the Minnesota Vikings. According to Sports Illustrated's Albert Breer, Rodgers offered the Vikings a one-year run at a Lombardi. That's right, Rodgers was ready to drop the veteran playbook and guide Minnesota's young guns to championship glory for a season. His plan? To lead the charge on the field and serve as a mentor to their promising second-year signal caller, J.J. McCarthy. Imagine the scene. Rodgers, a four-time NFL MVP, teaming up with a bright 22-year-old McCarthy who's hungry to prove himself, aiming for a Super Bowl run. It sounds like a fairy tale for NFL veterans and rookies alike. But, and there's always a but, the Vikings didn't bite. Instead, they opted to roll with their in-house talent by giving their 2024 first-round pick, McCarthy, the starting reins. This was no small decision, especially after McCarthy missed the entire last season due to a torn meniscus in the preseason. Still, Minnesota's decision-makers have placed a tremendous vote of confidence in him, signaling that they're ready to invest in the future rather than rely on a seasoned, albeit celebrated, alternative. Now, Rodgers wasn't the only QB option on the Vikings' table. The team was reportedly weighing several alternatives. They even flirted with the idea of bringing back veteran Sam Darnold. After all, he led Minnesota to a 14-win season last year, before he landed a hefty three-year, $100.5 million deal with the Seattle Seahawks. And then there was Daniel Jones, who found himself on the Vikings' practice squad for a brief period before ultimately signing with the Colts, where he now battles with Anthony Richardson for a starting spot. With those options off the table, Rodgers' proposal became the talk of the town. His 2024 stats during his second stint with the Jets, 63% completion rate, 3,897 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions, demonstrate that he still has plenty left in the tank, not to mention his veteran presence and leadership qualities that many teams covet. So, what does this mean for Minnesota and for Rodgers? For the Vikings, it's a clear message. They're betting on youth and long-term development. They'd rather watch their 22-year-old quarterback, who has shown flashes of brilliance, even in his limited preseason work, where he completed 11 of 17 passes for 188 yards and 2 touchdowns, grow into the role instead of taking a short-term shot with a seasoned pro. And for Rodgers, this offer was a final hurrah, a chance to add one more chapter of playoff glory to his storied career, even if it's just for a season. While the Vikings' decision leaves Rodgers on the outside looking in, it perfectly encapsulates where the NFL is headed: youth taking over, and franchises that are ready to nurture homegrown talent. For those who love a good underdog story, all eyes will now be on McCarthy to see if he can live up to the lofty expectations set by his new role. What do you think about Rodgers' bold offer and the Vikings' choice to stick with their young gun? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown of one of the NFL's hottest offseason rumors, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more updates and analysis. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned as we continue to track all the off-field drama and on-field action heading into the new season.
What's going on, NFL fans? You are not going to believe the latest buzz coming out of the offseason. It turns out that future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers might have almost ended up in a very different shade of purple, the Minnesota Vikings purple. New reports have surfaced detailing Rodgers' negotiations with the Vikings earlier this offseason. And the details are pretty fascinating. Let's dive into this potential NFC North shakeup that almost was. The video you sent highlights a report from Sports Illustrated's Albert Breer, who revealed some intriguing details about Aaron Rodgers' discussions with the Minnesota Vikings. According to Breer, Rodgers apparently offered the Vikings a one-year run at a Lombardi Trophy. Yes, you heard that right, the legendary quarterback, who eventually landed with the New York Jets for his second season with them. As the article notes, his 2024 stats, was seemingly open to joining their NFC North rivals for a shot at the Super Bowl. But the offer didn't stop there. The report also suggests that Rodgers assured the Vikings he would be a willing mentor to their young second-year quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. This would have been a potentially huge opportunity for McCarthy, who missed the entire 2024 season after tearing his meniscus in the preseason. Imagine learning the ropes from a four-time NFL MVP. However, as the video points out, the Vikings ultimately decided to decline Rodgers' offer. Instead, they opted to move forward with their younger, in-house option, and their 2024 first-round draft pick, J.J. McCarthy. This decision signals a significant show of faith in the 22-year-old quarterback, who is now positioned to take over as the Vikings' starting signal caller. It seems the Vikings weren't keen on delaying McCarthy's development for another season, even for the potential of a Super Bowl run with Rodgers. The video also mentions that Rodgers wasn't the only veteran quarterback the Vikings were considering. According to Breer's report, they also contemplated bringing back Sam Darnold, who had a solid 14-win season with Minnesota last year. However, Darnold ended up signing a lucrative 3-year deal with the Seattle Seahawks right as free agency began. Another quarterback the Vikings reportedly considered was Daniel Jones, who joined their practice squad mid-season after being released by the New York Giants. However, Jones ultimately signed with the Indianapolis Colts, where he'll compete with Anthony Richardson for the starting job. Ultimately, the Vikings' decision came down to sticking with their young talent in McCarthy, passing on the opportunity for a potentially short-term Super Bowl push with Aaron Rodgers. It's a bold move that highlights their belief in McCarthy's potential to lead their franchise for years to come. The video also provides a quick look at the 2024 stats for both Rodgers and McCarthy. Rodgers, in his second season with the Jets, had a respectable year with a 63% completion rate, nearly 3.900 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. He even finished 7th in voting for the Comeback Player of the Year award. McCarthy, in his limited preseason action, showed some promise, completing 11 of 17 passes for 188 yards and 2 touchdowns. This whole situation raises some interesting what-ifs. Could Aaron Rodgers have led the Vikings to a Super Bowl in a single season? Would J.J. McCarthy have benefited significantly from a year under Rodgers' tutelage? We'll never know for sure, but it certainly makes for a fascinating offseason storyline. What are your thoughts on the Vikings' decision? Do you think they made the right choice in sticking with J.J. McCarthy over a potential one-year run with Aaron Rodgers? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more NFL news and rumors, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future content. We'll see you in the next one.
What's up, football fans? Today we're diving into one of the juiciest quarterback rumors of the offseason. One that has veteran Aaron Rodgers trying to make one last supercharged splash with the Minnesota Vikings. According to Sports Illustrated's Albert Breer, Rodgers offered the Vikings a one-year run at a Lombardi,